Welcome to my explainer video. This is my project. I'm Jeanette Rose, and this is ClearPath Yoga and Astrology from Vision to Visibility. This project is a collection of photography, film, and branding assets that creates a strong online presence for the company, ClearPath Yoga and Astrology. I created impactful photos that capture the essence of who my client is as a spiritual being. I also created a documentary that legitimizes her as an expert. I designed a website highlighting these new assets alongside legacy content and new copywriting provided by my client. This work translates the vision of my client into practical branding to help her market her company's services. To begin, I researched different web hosting options. We initially looked into Squarespace and Wix as a way to get an easy template to plug in all the content. Although looking at the costs that were associated with it, as well as the fact that all the assets my client had pre-existing were only available on Canva. And so eventually we realized that Canva was going to be the best option for us so we could continue in her brand's look and feel for the website. Here are some examples of what was available on Canva before. Everything over here on the left are designs that she created before I picked up this project. So you can see there's a lot of gold and this dark blue color and astrology, planetary sort of graphics. And so I did use some of these, as well as over on the right, it shows how you can also access a ton of other assets in a similar look and feel to add to the website. So basically what I figured out was I was going to stick with my Nikon D7500. It's got all the bells and whistles and can do the job of many other cameras in one. It's a bit of a beast. I did look into getting a new lens, which I decided on this Nikon 50mm with the 1.8 aperture. And then over here is the DJI mic, and that is the one I have rented from Agamemnon Adrianos, who was also my mentor in this project for everything related to audio. Spent a lot of time on YouTube, especially Jared Polin, who's got a great channel with lots of followers. He's been doing this for a very long time. Over here's Agamemnon. He worked on Howard the Duck, by the way. So he's been Emmy nominated for a lot of things, but I love the fact that one of them was Howard the Duck. And right here, the Aruk, Trina, and Graim. That is the documentary I found on Vimeo that was the most inspiring for me, and the one in which I modeled my documentary after. The most important research was with my client. These examples here are from one of our first interviews where I really wanted to get an idea for what her goals were. And in doing so, it prompted her to really think deeply about defining her vision and pfiguring out which services she wants to offer and what she wants people to know about her business. After many of our photo shoots, I had a bunch of files to work with, and there was a lot of editing involved. The goal always, I think, is to get the best photo before post-production, but sometimes you got to work with what you have. I did utilize a little AI. I'll have to admit it. I was able to remove this tree that I don't know why I didn't notice that when I was taking the photo, but I didn't. I actually was able to remove a clothespin, which was kind of brilliant as well. Everything else mainly consisted of some, level adjustments and color balance. And also there was a photo illustration that inspired my client. And so it went through a couple iterations to become this last photo here with the moon. So what I did is I have 3 different scenes set as different sequences, scene 1, 2, and 3. And then I ended up exporting it into a separate file and then working with that one as a sequence just to give my computer a little bit of a break. I did the same thing with the audio merging the music with the dialogue, and trying to work with a lot of the audio effects I didn't find were rendering properly for me. So I had to do some workarounds, and I think my computer might just be part of the problem, as far as doing things like ducking, which should have the music automatically dip when dialogue sets in, but that these things just weren't actually working. So I had to find other ways to work around it, to get to the vision that I wanted to get to. She created a bio that I needed, also outlining the different packages that she wants to offer, what they are, how much they cost. And we got a powerful quote over here to draw people in, and then also defining her methods, which I use these little icons for on the website that I felt were very effective. If you want to create something like a slideshow, you actually have to go and make a separate project, and then you can insert that project into a different one, right? So this is a slideshow that I created as one project, and I went ahead and I plugged it into the website. So it's not intuitive, but for almost everything, there's a workaround. So for the finished website, overall, I'm really happy with it. It has all the components that I wanted. The slideshow, here's again the methodology, her bio, testimonials. There's the video included in there, her packages. There's a link to her email address on the bottom there. Unfortunately, you cannot have a contact form. And then there's also a link to, this is Bloom Yoga Collective, where she teaches. So if somebody visits the site, they can find her current class that she offers. For the final outcome, I really do see this project as a success. All the final deliverables are there. It's familiar, it's accessible, and I wanted her to have a jumping off point. This is to get her in the door, to get her online, and she can further develop it on her own. Although she has requested that I work for her moving forward, which I'm open to. But we were also, most importantly, I think, we're able to define her vision more clearly than she had initially through some coaching, which wasn't my initial plan, but I was happy to provide that for her and really get that vision down on paper. And I feel like I was able to translate it successfully with this project. All right, finally, the insights I've taken away from this project. First is that processing graphics takes strong hardware, stronger than I have now, but I do love my Mac Mini. It's gotten me through this entire degree program, and I think that it maxed out for this final project. But I appreciate all that it's done for me. Second is that all kinds of shots are necessary. You need tight, medium, and wide. And if you watch my documentary, it's pretty clear right away that it is missing wide shots. And that, I think, is the greatest deficit of my project, and unfortunately not something I was able to go back and remedy. Next, when you work with a client, you're going to need a lot of flexibility and persistence to make things happen. Also, Canva websites are for beginners. If you know anything about web design, if you've made a few before, you might find that you're getting kind of frustrated with your options. Some things are easy and some things are actually not even possible. So number 5, the most versatile lenses are the most expensive. I did my best with my budget, but I do have a piggy bank for a someday lens that I would like to own. And lastly, if you ask any photographer, I think they'll also agree with this statement, is that lighting is the most difficult part of photography. You can do a lot in post, but you can't do it all. And so getting a handle on lighting is going to be your best friend if you want to continue to study photography and to practice photography as a career or a hobby. So I hope you liked this project and my video. I hope that helped explain things. And I'm looking forward to graduating and appreciate everything I've learned and created so far this semester.